people, Ping Ping William, Atoin Juba, Malatori, hey, I'm you, Ping Ping William, Atoin Benti, Walla Quaju, hey, wow, Ping Ping William, Atoin Malkal, Walla Pinyaram, Ping Ping William.
Welcome to Lake State Media today, tonight, this afternoon, in 16 May anniversary. This is the 40th anniversary that we commemorate, and we have to reflect and think of our hero and heroine who sacrificed their life for the country that we own today. Before we start the program, time to sit back and observe a minute of silence together. Please stand still. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Masamir RBG and see John Ram Gadabab, Tong Jalap, Tongachi, John Gam. Victor Garam. Kun Masamir RBG and see John Ram Gadabab, Tong Jalap, Tongachi, John Gam. Sopra SPLA.
All right, that's Spelaway.
SPLA.
SPLaway.
SPLM.
Thank you so much مشاهدينا الكرام. عضو كلنا نرحب بكم الليلة يوم 16 مايو ليوم العظيم علينا كلنا. نقول 16 مايو كلكم جميعا. What I have to say, welcome. Thank you so much. We wish you all the happy 16 May celebration today. In the studio with us this evening in Juba, and in the morning hours, 4 a.m. in Australia, afternoon in America. Comrade Agalring Machar, one of the veterans of Red Army, is with us here in the studio today, and also my co-host Abraham Madin Majak is here also in the studio with us. And we have a former Red Army head who will come and join us later, Deng Bolarwe. We start with our brother, Comrade Agel Ring Machar. Welcome, Lagos State Media, once again. Please take the stage, open your mic, and greet the audience and introduce yourself to our audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lake State Media, and for hosting me once again. I think this is the second time for me here. I'm happy to join you on this day. It's a very glorious day, very joyous day, very reflective day for us as the people of South Sudan, because it was on this day 40 years ago when the children of South Sudan, men and women of South Sudan, decided we were going to continue with a journey towards freedom and liberty. A journey that took us 21 years, eventually ending in CPA, another 6 years of interim period, a referendum, and eventually where Comrade Selfa had the opportunity on behalf of his colleagues that he has lost along the way, raised the flag in an emotional location, the 9th of July 2011. John Garang Muselium. So for us, it's a very beautiful day, and for me to join you, I'm very happy.
Thank you so much, Comrade Galring Machar. Back to you, Comrade Abraham Madin Majak, co-host of Lake State Media Beyond Boundaries, to also to weigh in with your remarks.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to say thank you to Comrade Gallery Machar for joining us today. Today is a happy days. In our history, 40 days, 40 years. 40 years for the SPLA is a day that we all will be remember. Our children, our coming generation will remember this day. So this 40 years of SPLA is a day that we can reflect and see the achievement and the failures the movement have done to us. So I'm happy, and I wish every South Sudanese around the world happy May 16th. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abraham Madid, and all our audience in Facebook, in YouTube, and in Clubhouse. You are all welcome. Please share this video with your friends and colleagues, and circle. Just let this video go out there to reach everybody. Thank you, our brother Victor Makur in Victoria. In South Africa, you are always with us. Thank you. Happy 16 May anniversary with us. You are here as well. I saw your comments down. Back to you, my brother, Comrade Gelring Machar. The reflection of today, we know 16 May is the day when late General, who is a Commander Carbino Kwanyin Bol, shot the first bullet in Bor in 16 May 1983. Now we got the independence of the country, though we went through a lot after 21 years in war. And after CPA, as you mentioned, we had 6 years of interim period. And now we have a nation which is still in war internally. What can you tell your comrades and all the public, because the SPLA, SPLM, everybody in South Sudan has participated, indirect and directly, civilians, those who used to carry out ammunition and weapons for the army, to the military barracks, and those who cook foods, giving logistic to the movement. What is your say in this anniversary, though it's being celebrated mutedly in the country?
Thank you very much. First of all, before I
I think Shabaka Batal didn't for Juba.
it is fitting that I give I'm only seeing myself. Where are you guys? You back, Isaac?
Yeah,
is that my network, or you guys have problems at the studio?
You are coming cutting. The network is interrupting. You come here distorted. Your voice is distorted. But now
it's Anyway, I must first start by giving salutation to the leaders of our glorious revolution, both dead and alive, particularly the members of the political military high command. The permanent five and the alternate members of the high command. alive. So
Abraham, do you hear
first,
him?
Yeah, network is bad.
only person.
Comrade Gal, can you try to log out and log back in? Network in Juba that is bad for. So the connection is bad, Isaac. So let them practice network and then log back in.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, Comrade Girl, just log out and come back again. While we're waiting for you, we will be playing some music, and then we will try your next coming in.
okay. Okay, try to play some of the video on.
All right, Comrade Girl.
It looks like internet is not going to make it easy for us.
Oh yeah, I know. Internet is
Okay,
preventing us. Yeah.
okay. We proceed.
Go ahead. Yep, proceed ahead from where you
Yes,
start.
yes. It makes sense that this revolution has its leaders from the underground movement. So it is important for me to start by recognizing their contribution. The people of the political military high command. I started with the Comrade Selfa of Tiger Battalion. Uh, also Battalion. Are we together?
Yeah, we are still together. Yeah, but still network connection is still bad. So go ahead.
It's still bad.
But it's good now. Go ahead.
Okay. So it's as soon as I speak, something happens. I don't understand what's going on here. Usually, it's not this bad.
Yeah.
Basically, I just wanted what has been interrupted for me just to give salutations to leaders and to all the officers of the SPLM, SPLA, non-commissioned officers and soldiers, starting from our first division, made up of the 4 founding battalions of Mio Araba, Mio Kamsa, Yamus, Tiger Utimsa, followed by salutation to Koryom Division, to more Division, to Kazuk, to Zalzal 1, to Zalzal 2, to Intifada, to Infijar, to Intizar Division that has given us the freedom we're enjoying today. So before I say anything on this day, my hat off to them, and I salute them. I thank them. We recognize them, and they will forever remain in our hearts for the work they have done to free our people.
Thank you, Comrade Agal. Yeah, now we're having an issue of our network, but I have a question to follow because this 40 years anniversary for the Splm.
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell us what are the success and the failures of SPLA done for the last 40 years?
The SPLA, there is nothing, there is no South Sudan without SPLA. So let's put it that way. The fact that they have galvanized the people of South Sudan, channeled their anger, articulated the vision and direction and ways in which we can free ourselves by learning from mistakes of the previous movements of Nyanya 1 and Nyanya 2. Dr. John Garang, with his colleagues, sat down and articulated the fundamental problem of Sudan. Because you cannot solve a problem unless you have a proper diagnosis for it. That's why if you go to a hospital, the first thing to be done is to diagnose what is your problem. Because without the diagnosis, the doctor will not be able to prescribe the right medicine to treat you. So the SPLA managed through its leadership and through thinking, articulated the problem of Sudan and articulated a vision for which to solve it. They then galvanized the people of South Sudan to fight for their freedom for 21 years. And when CPA was signed, which was a victory for SPLA, particularly then we lost our chairman, founding chairman, how the SPLM under Comrade Salva continued for the next 6 years to ensure that we did not lose the opportunity for the referendum and to finally have our freedom. This is what we have been crying for since 1955, mutiny of August 18 in Torit. And finally, the SPLM was able to achieve it. That is important for SPLM. Of course, the SPLM has its history of divisions and splits, starting from its formation. When they formed, they split themselves. You've heard of names like Konatem and Gaitut and so forth. And those splits were often very bloody. Sometimes they take tribal tones, they take tribal sentiments, and they mix them up. And those divisions continued in 1991 and continued in 2013 and 2016 and so forth. So that itself has made the SPLM lose focus of its vision and its mission. Because a house where there is quarreling and there is a lack of understanding between brothers and sisters and so forth finds itself with a lot of difficulties for achieving its objectives. So the failure of SPLM lies at its inception in 1983, when they were unable to unify different views about how to free our people. And those divisions have not been handled properly. SPLM in 2005 or 2011 did not give itself time to go and do truth and reconciliation. Because when such things happen, like what happened in 83, 84, 91, 2013, 2016, when you try to put them under the rug, they don't go away because people have been hurt, people have lost their lives and properties and so forth. The only way a country like this can go forward is by being serious and honest with its reconciliation and transitional justice. South Africa have done it, Rwanda have done it, and many other countries that have had divisions have done it. We in South Sudan, it's a part the SPLM with the peace they have right now uh, are going in that direction. I've heard the other day they wanted to establish this, and Chapter 5 of the revitalized agreement is important so that we end impunity and we make sure that people get their justice, and we also reconcile as a people. And when we reconcile, it will allow us to refocus on the mission at hand, which is to provide basic services to our people and to make sure that our country is prosperous and we develop our people and we give them the benefit for freedom that they've been earning. Because freedom is not it's just not being away from Sudan. Freedom means that you are free from poverty and free from all those basic things that you get your services. But SPLM has been having difficulties. This because they have not got over these issues of split and so forth. So it's my message to our senior comrades that they take advantage of this revitalized peace agreement that is in place to reconcile themselves, transition the country from instability to stability, tranquility, and peace, and eventually free and fair elections, where the people of South Sudan, in their own free will, can choose the type of leadership they want to take them into the future. If they do this, we will be very happy with them. These are two individuals that have fought hard for our freedom. All of you have seen contribution of Congress Alpha, and we have also seen the contribution of Riek Machar with all those splits, notwithstanding, and other senior comrades, Comrade Taban, Mama Rebecca, and the rest, is for them to put their house in order so that the SPLM reaches its final destination. Because liberation, as it is right now, is not full until the SPLM is able to put institutions in place, institutions that can govern the country, that can unite the country, reconcile the country, and ensure that the country is set on path of prosperity and unity into the future. I'm still hopeful that the SPLM have always recovered from their splits, and they have always managed to achieve the mission. Even though they split in 83, 84, they split in 1991, they managed to continue to reunite and to ensure that we have reached a statehood that we are now struggling to establish. So with all these hiccups over the 2016 and 2013, I still believe the SPLM has in it what it takes to be able to recover. That's our hope. If not, then the people of South Sudan are resilient enough, and people of South Sudan will stand up, and they will find new leadership, and they will find new direction, and they will move forward. The same way they have done in the past. They were all behind Anyanya 1, and when the peace agreement of 72 did not produce their aspiration and their desires, they abandoned it. They picked on Anyanya 2. When Anyanya 2 was not going anywhere, they dropped it, and they picked on the SPLM and SPLA. So now it is the game in the hands of SPLM and SPLA. If they want to correct themselves and take us back into the path of development and complete the path to freedom, fine. If they're not, then people should not worry. The people of South Sudan will find a way to regroup, and they will achieve what they want. They are a very resilient people, and underestimating them is a mistake. This is my message in regards to successes and failures of SPLM. They are not rocket science. They are not in the stars. They are there for all of us to see from 1983 up to now for the last 40 years. To summarize it, their success has been they have always achieved the mission, and their weaknesses has always been the mission has been delayed or has been made to be more costly than it should be. People have paid more taman than they should have done it if they had united themselves and avoid all these divisions and power struggles and so forth. That's, I think, is a failure of SPLM. If SPLM doesn't address this issue of leadership struggles, then they will have difficulties meeting the expectation of the people of South Sudan going forward.
Thank you, Comrade Galmachar. This one, since 2013, 2013 was change people mindset from SPLA. So for the next 40 years, what will the SPLA will be like the next 40 years? Will the SPLM party as a party will be in the power, or will be the next as we see right now, or South Sudan have many parties, and SPLM party as a party have a different branches party, SPLIO, Real SPLM, SPLDC, and so forth. So, and the same SPLM party, these are the same leaders during the movement 1983, are the one who created these branches from SPLM party. So for the next 40 years, will the SPLM party as a party will still ruling South Sudan, or do you think the different party will emerge in to take the power? Thank you. Go ahead.
Ultimately, the decision maker is the people of South Sudan, because the SPLM has fought to bring them democracy. So all they need to do is reunite, implement the peace agreement, transition the country from war to peace, conduct elections. Ultimately, it's the people of South Sudan that will decide which party rules them or what kind of sets of leaders govern them. But for me, as a member of SPLM, I would hope for SPLM not only for 40 years, but for 100 years to govern, because its track record going back is exceptional. There is no any other institution in South Sudan that can boast such record that the SPLM has had over the last 40 years. There is no institution, there is no political party, new or old. So, as a member of SPLM, it is my hope that the current leadership, Taban, we are at the periphery. We are not at the center of decision making. We are at the periphery of the SPLM. We are just members. But we hope that those in power within the SPLM correct themselves in a timely manner, quickly, and they because they have the trust of the people of South Sudan because of what we have done in the past. So they have a good chance for them to govern for the next 40 years. But if they don't meet the aspiration, if we the SPLM do not meet the aspiration of the people of South Sudan, then rest assured that the people of South Sudan will vote for other party, and they will not be intimidated. Because if they were going to be intimidated by anybody, they would have been intimidated by the successive regimes in Khartoum that were very brutal. So there is nobody is going to intimidate the people of South Sudan. The only way is for us, the SPLM, to reorganize ourselves, do some homework, and get back on the right track. And we have the trust of the people. People are listening to us, unless we have nothing to tell them. But we have the ears of the people because of the track record of 40 years. So as an SPLM member, I would want the SPLM to govern for the next 40 years. But ultimately, in democracy, power is in the hands of the people of South Sudan. So the onus is on the SPLM leaders to make sure that they meet the aspiration and the expectation of the people of South Sudan, so they can continue to vote for us. Yes, and then we have transitions of power from one person to another person. It has been done in ANC of South Africa. They have established proper institutions in the party that govern competition for power. There was the Chama cha Mapinduzi of Tanzania have done the same thing, where there are strong democratic institutions internally within the party that allows the party to be able to organize itself and to have change of leaders and change of blood every 10 years. The same thing with the ANC. So it has been done before, where a revolutionary party that brought freedom stays for many years. But it has also been in other countries where they don't stay for that long, and their end is always disastrous. So we have examples and comparative analysis on where our SPLM leaders want to take, what direction they want to take. It's my hope that they take the direction where they put their policies, they put the people at the center of their policies, so that the people can continue to have their trust and vote for them to continue. If not, I am 100% confident on the people of South Sudan. They will choose. They will know they know where they want. They know where they're coming from, and they know where they are going. And if they know that you are not taking them to where they want to go, they will part ways with you, one way or another.
Thank you. Thank you, Comrade Agal. Before I yield my microphone to my colleague in the studio, my last question to you is: as you a veteran, Red Army veteran, seen your childhood, you've seen everything. Isaac and Bolmakur and I, we were in former Red Army too. We were there was you guys, was you. As the former Red Army, and we know you and I and Bol, we know very well during our time in the bush, our leaders, the current president, Salva Kiir Mayardit, and our former president, which is may God has his soul, Dr. John Grant Mbior. They taught us during when we were in the group minor, said that you are the seed of the nation. Seed of the nation, we were taught from the refugees camp to refugees under the tree. And this is what we, as told when we were young, said you are the seed of the nation. When you grow up, you take the leadership of the country. They say that like Jejaswat will fight. When they succeed to bring our independence, we, the Red Army, will take over the power, take the leadership. We are no longer young no more. We are 40s, 50s. So this is our time, the time that Dr. John Garang Mabior, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, who is president of the Republic of South Sudan right now, told us at that time that you are the seed of the nation. When we succeed, you take the power. This is the right time for the Red Army to take the leadership. What happened for that message? What happened?
Okay.
Why the Red Army has been sidelined? Why the Red Army has been sidelined? So, which is Lost Boy and Red Army, why they have been sidelined by the current government? Thank you.
Okay, number one, when John Garang was speaking, for me, I had a different understanding of what he was saying from most of my Red Army. John Garang was not saying that Jejaswat will fight and then they will sit down and they will hand it over to you. That's not what he was saying. He was saying that Jejaswat continue fighting, and as they get depleted, as some of them fall in battle, okay, those Jejamar who are ready will fill in those gaps. This is my understanding. So there is no way somebody will fight for the country and then hands over to his child when they are still strong and they feel like they still have something to offer. So let's be clear with Jejamar. Comrade Salva, Dr. Yelma, these people are not going anywhere right now. So what happens is for us to organize ourselves and to make sure that we see where they are depleted and then we fill in the gaps. Because change is gradual. So if there is a gap of about 20% of elders that have fell for one reason, through sickness, through incompetence, through old age, then you fill in those 20%. And then the next few years, then you fill the other 20%. Eventually, it will become Red Army. So this thing, I think the Splm is still serious with this. If you look closely, by the way, some of Jejamar, even though the one they have picked, they are there. They are not the one we have picked because this is not democracy. Do you understand? So the leadership of the party picks from juniors who they think. So, for example, I will mention few names. The head of police in the country is a Red Army from Zalzal 1. So Komra Majake is trained with Zalzal 1, even though he went with Kazuk because he was trained. So I will put him to the division where he was trained. So he was trained with Zalzal 1, and I, for example, was trained with Zalzal 2. I crossed paths with him in Dima in 1987-88 when we were still all non-commissioned officers. I think he was a warrant officer, by then I was a surgeon. But you can see now I'm still a surgeon and he's a full general. So the head of police in the country is a Jejamar. Do you understand? If you go to SSPDF, the deputy chief of staff for operation, Comrade Toichan, is a Jejamar. Do you understand? If you another Jejamar, you can see, for example, the secretary general of the party. That is the third in command of the party. He's a Jejamar as well, or at least he says he's Jejamar because I didn't see him because we're in different places. We're not all in one place. But he identifies himself with the Jejamar, and he's the third man of the movement. If look, for example, this upcoming star, the one that is being appointed in all places, what is his name? My brother Benjamin Bolomel. He was with us. He almost lost his life many times. He was saved by our seniors who used to take care of us. Look what he's doing now. Okay, he's the head of Chamber of Commerce, the main contractor of the roads by the government. He's a member of Politburo. He's a deputy secretary general of SPLM, and he's a presidential envoy. All those positions have been bestowed on Jejamar. None of Jejaswat has these 5 positions. Kwalmanyang doesn't have these 5 positions, and he's a member of the High Command. Who else? Wenakot doesn't have this position, and he's a commander of Tuktek Battalion, Tuktek Jazar. You know Tuktek, the most prominent battalion of More Division, and he doesn't have those positions. But Jejamar has those positions. So we need to read correctly what John Garang was talking about. This is exactly what John Garang was talking about. Is that if Comrade Salfa or whoever is leading, let's say if it was Dr. John Garang, feels like there are some gaps where some Jejaswad were not doing their work for one reason or another, he has a reserve for which to come in. But of course, if death occur, you inherit the place. That's what it means. So if there's battalion of Jejaswad that has gone and it has been depleted, let's say they have 50% casualties, that should not be the end of that battalion. They should go back to Jijamar, who have grown up, and bring them and add them to that battalion, so that battalion can continue to wage war. And that's what we have done throughout. What John Garang said, in my understanding, happened throughout the war. You have seen that we did not just wait. Majority of us, especially those of us who are trained in Dima, majority of us are not there right now. They went to different fronts. They participated in the attacks of Capoeira and the operation, what was called a Bright Star campaign, going forth to Operation Bengal and the rest. Most of them died there. So Jejamar they have supported Jejaswat during the liberation. They have also supported Jejaswat when those of us went to the diaspora. You have seen how we managed to convince Bush administration during the campaign, the so-called Lost Boys, the campaign that we did, those who went to the United States. It is that campaign that has convinced the Republican Party and Bush to sign an executive order, what was called the Sudan Peace Act, which was one of the first executive orders President Bush signed. And you can remember in those, when Bush was signing it, those who were standing behind him in the White House were all Jejamar. And it is this act that has forced Bashir and John Garang to negotiate the CPA from 2002 to 2005. So Jejamar have done their part in the battlefield. They did their part in the diplomatic mobilization. And now they are contributing at various levels in government. Of course, we are not contributing at the same level of those who did not go to the bush. But of course, you have to understand, those who went to the bush, they are a very small percentage. And there is no way we can say, and the rest of South Sudan, that we were free, we left out. We can do that. So, because the fact that there are a majority, you end up finding that if youth of young people are brought into government, and they are, let's say, 10, you may find that 2 or 3 are Red Army, and 7 are those that were in different areas, let's say in Khartoum or in Wau or Juba or other areas. This is natural. The problem we have is that the new ones from our age, a Chitkan Ranwan, Chelu, welcome. In a said, Bitial, Chika told Minum, by and Penyan Tialto, he decided when the Tialan Mukude gave the Tialde Chol Katulaku. Okay, welcome. This is sometimes these issues are we are dealing with them, all of us. So we need to reorganize and reassert ourselves, and those Jejamar who are in position of power, like those few that I've mentioned, there are a few others. It is their duty to also make sure that they pave way for which is what these people have done. Those that joined the Splm the other day, those all what Kasha, who bishuva kuwa tani, ubijibu bugul zeb ta jamal da kadin kud rasi kala chola yet choken bar shoya ka yub ramun to worza to kaje piga. So some of these things are kiji jamarkwa. If they do the same thing, we will come up. We are not many. If somebody like Bualmil says that, okay, this position of mine, I feel like I'm holding it on behalf of Jejamar, and I want to empower Jejamar, he can easily do it. If Lambot does the same thing, why not? If Toy does that in the military, why not? If the IGP does that, and so forth, and there are some in the national security, But if the Jejamar thinks that, okay, they want for themselves, that covered, it means that the indoctrination itself, the training for 9 years, 10 years, 11 years, so sometimes I feel like the issue with senior comrades, they are ready. They are ready. If you organize yourself, you will find a way. People like on the side of Dr. Machar, you have seen how many young people are in power. People like Potkang running the most important ministry in the country. He was in there, even though he got trained or not, but he was in those of Tarfam areas and many others. So Jejamar are there. It is for them to reorganize themselves, pull their resources together, and realize that there was a mission they had gone to. They have a common experience. They have a common past. They have a mission, and that is to make sure that we support senior comrades to hold the country together, hold the SPLM together, and eventually inherit it. But it looks like there are others who are going to inherit South Sudan as well, because South Sudan is different from SPLM. South Sudan belongs to all of us, and SPLM is what is ours. But now those have no party doesn't grow, so the party has grown, and the newcomers have become smarter with the skills they brought from where they got their training from. Those skills have become better than our skills, because remember we were told to speak truth to the power. That was our mission. Okay, we were not told finish training and go and call Nimeri Siatak Siatak. That's not what we were told. We were told that if Nimeri does wrong, you tell him no. If he threatens you, you confront him for sake of your country. That was their training. While our colleagues in Khartoum were told not to look the leadership in the eye, look away. So if we have become victims of our own training. So our leaders, instead of knowing that the fact that we confront them is not because we are indisciplined, it's because they train us that way. We were indoctrinated, okay, to fight for the country, to fight for your people, regardless of who is in power. Do you understand? And now, they came and changed it, and they said, look, in the new system, you must understand how to say Asiata, Kugurin, and so forth. And some of us, you cannot train an old dog new tricks. We are having difficulties. We tried for 1 week, then you go and sit down and you go and do other things. Because it is, and that's why I call him Comrade Safa. Sometimes when I call him that, some of my colleagues who are my friends in politics from Khartoum were saying, don't call him Comrade. But I said he's the one. He was the head of training. He's the one who told me, call me Comrade. We wanted to call him Sa from our school, from Komboni in Wow. We wanted to call him Sa. He said, no, Sa Deb Tabu Jazin. Don't call me Sa. I'm your Comrade. So we said, okay, thank you very much. Now we call him Comrade. They say, a problem now. We have to go back now. So it's difficult. So Jizamar need to understand that situation in Kirowar, and as a revolutionary soldier, you must understand how to adapt. And that's the meaning of guerrilla. A guerrilla is somebody who adapts to new environment quickly, and is somebody who takes on big deep, and find a way how to reconnect with our senior comrades. And they have nothing against us. As I've told you, they have appointed all these people. As I said, the positions given to these people, they have not been given to anybody else. There is no one, and those are the strategic places. The party is the ruling party. The military is the defender of the country. The IGP is the one responsible for internal security. If the IGP is given to a Red Army, when other soldiers from Jejaswad are still there, do you understand? Those who taught us, like former IGP, Piang Deng Majok, he's still there, he's strong. He can be a good IGP right now. But President Salva is kind of phasing them out and bringing up the young people. The problem is that we have to apply ourselves, and we have to realize that Comrade Salva now is the president of a republic. He is not a chairman of a movement alone. He's the president of the republic, and there are certain ways he has to be dealt with for us to make sure that we inherit what is ours.
Thank you so much. Comrade Gal Muchar. You put it very well. And I will yield my microphone to my colleague. And before I do that, I hear a lot of things. My next question will be my final question, and then I will yield to my colleague. Some of the South Sudanese, they're saying that the Splm vision died with Comrade John Garang Mabior. What is your input on this? Did Splm vision die with Dr. Yakmach, that was John Garang Mabior, or not?
No. Come on, this is just too much. There are people. There is a great. First of all, the first mission was independent, right? And independent was achieved 6 years after John Garang died. If the vision has gone with John Garang, Salva would have not raised the flag. You understand? The final part of it, which is to establish institutions that will make us a state or a nationhood, those things were interrupted because of our divisions in 2013. But those divisions are not new. They were not created with Salva. Those divisions happened with John Garang. And they delayed the mission as well. I know when they split in 1991, at least what they tell us, that they have sieged Juba, and they were going to capture Juba, and they were going to be victorious. And because of the split, victory ended up coming 20 years later. Do you understand? That is not to say that John Garang has lost vision in 1990 or 1991. It means that he was dealing with the split of the movement, but he remained focused. So this idea that the vision of SPLM died with John Garang is not true. Yes, he played a major role, John Garang, to articulate this vision, identify the problem correctly, and bring the correct remedy. Like a doctor would do, will identify you have a malaria and gives you the correct doses, which means you will get better. That we have to thank John Garang for, and that's why he's in our money and he's everywhere. But to say that after he died, that people did not continue with the march, with the final sprint to freedom is not true. And by the way, some of the complicated issues Comrade Salfa dealt with all my disagreement with him sometimes, some of the complicated things that he dealt with in the interim period, I think sometimes it is the God of South Sudan who decided that. I think Comrade Dr. John would have had difficulties navigating those things correctly to achieve independence. We probably would still be involved with what is happening in Sudan right now. I'm not sure. But to prove that the vision did not get lost is the fact that he died, and 6 years later, not 2 years, not 3 years, 6 years later, South Sudanese managed to march towards independence. They voted overwhelmingly. They defended their right to vote, and they raised their flag. That was number one mission of SPLM and SPLA. Freedom of the people of South Sudan. That was achieved 6 years after the passing of John Garang. If he had died with a vision, we would have got lost in 2006, 2007. That's number one. Number two, the split that has made it difficult now for Comrade Salva to go ahead after freedom to establish the correct institutions, the correct systems that will set the country on the path of development, prosperity, and unity. What has delayed that is the split within the leadership of the SPLM. I'm not saying who. For me, as senior comrades, I don't say. When I say split, I mean split. I don't do this. This one is responsible for this. It is a split. It is politics and power struggle are always bound to be there. The problem is, do you have institutions strong enough to manage your competition for power? Because there's competition for power in Kenya, there is in Tanzania, there is everywhere. The problem is that SPLM did not have correct institution, did not have a chance to build strong institution to help manage competition for power within the Politburo or the leadership of the SPLM. So the fact that the development has been delayed with Comrade Salfa does not mean that the vision has been lost. It means that the SPLM has been dealing with its all nightmares that has been haunting it, which is the divisions and the tribalism and regionalism and so forth. And that has delayed Comrade Salfa going ahead with the current leadership of SPLM, going ahead with the final mission. It has delayed it, but they still have a chance, like what Dr. John Garang did after the freedom that he thought that he was going to get by attacking Juba in 1992 and capturing it. Okay, it was delayed until 2002, but eventually, after 10 years, he reached out. Dr. Machar and Dr. John, they reached out to each other, and they united the movement, which strengthened their position during the negotiation, made them achieve the CPA, make them defend the interests of South Sudanese during the interim period, and to vote and to get independence. Comrade Salfa also has the same thing. He has the same thing, and which is he trying. He tried in 2015, he fell down in 2016, and then he tried again. Now, hopefully, we pray for him, and we can assist. We are asked about how this thing can be done, but not all of us cannot be at the driving seat. So those are driving seat. We'll pray for them to make sure that they transition the country, they unite the country, so that the SPLM can go on with the final mission, which is development and prosperity for the people of South Sudan.
Thank you, Comrade Agal. Let me yield microphone back to my colleague. Thank you, answer all my questions. Let me recognize one of the Red Army veteran is in the room in Clubhouse, Dr. Peter Biarajak. I say recognize you. Happy May 16. So thank you, Comrade Agal. I will yield microphone back to Isaac and Bolmaku. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Abraham Adit. We would like to welcome Bolmakur Ashian, one of the Red Army veteran as well, has just joined us. Welcome, Bolmakur. Before I yield the microphone to you, I have a follow-up question. One question to Brother Comrade Agal Ring Machar. you just elaborated more about the SPLM visions and how Comrade Salva Kiir is struggling with the leadership, how to follow the vision of the SPLM, SPLA. There are a lot of rebellions that has occurred in between here after raising the flag, gaining the independence of the country. Currently, just let's say about 2 days ago, Johnson Oling has come to Juba and he has been refusing to come to Juba, has been appointed even by the SPLMIO as the governor of Upper Nile State, Malakal, and he declined for that. And now he came to Juba. What do you think the move that is going on? That's question number one. Question number two, I'm asking you personally. I've seen you. You have been before a spokesperson of Comrade Taban Dengai, and now you speaking as a veteran. Are you speaking on behalf of the SPLM, the old SPLM, or you still sticking on in that side? These are the two questions I'm asking you, and then I will yield back microphone to Bolmako from that thing. Thank you.
With the issues of General Olin, uh, I do not want to get involved in that because I don't think there is something specific about him. Uh, it is a systemic issue, and all of us are responsible for it, from Comrade Selfa to Dubat, Sub Dubat, Jesh, and we, the people of South Sudan, we are responsible for the situation we find ourselves in. If we think it is messy, the onus is on us to fix it. But as it is, uh, pointing, blaming fingers on one individual, uh, I have been there. I have seen it. There are people who think Olen did not refuse. It is Juba that did not play correctly with Olen. For example, for the SPLMIO, he had said, I have been nominated by my party. You appoint me and I will come. And the president, for whatever reason, or the SPLM, for whatever reason, refused to appoint him until he comes. But when the SPLM was given the nomination, another SPLMIO nomination for governor of Wow, she was appointed while she was in the United States. So why is it that Roland, these blame game issues, people are divided. So those who support Roland think that the problem is in Juba, and those who are aligned to Juba think the problem is Roland. Those who are aligned to Riek Machar think the problem is Selfa, okay, and those who are aligned to Selfa think that Riek Machar is the problem, and so forth and so forth. So this, for me, I think I want to give an intellectual response, and I want to say, situation where we find ourselves in, the current political dispensation in the country, leaves a lot to be desired, and it needs to be fixed. And the people who will fix it are all of us. What was your second question? Oh no. Okay. I have resigned from the office of the spokesperson, of then first vice president. I resigned over 3 years ago. I have been a private citizen now for 3 years. So I'm not speaking on behalf of Comrade Taban. On the issue of SPLM, it was clear when we were together. Our faction of SPLM under Comrade Taban was dissolved and was merged into SPLM in 2017. So from 2017, we have been members of SPLM, card-holding members of SPLM up to now. And you have seen Comrade Taban has been confirmed as a member of Politburo a few months ago in the SPLM. But I'm not speaking on behalf of SPLM. I'm SPLM, yes, but a normal card-holding member that has not been authorized to speak on behalf of the party. I'm not an official of the party. So I cannot speak on behalf of the party, and I'm not speaking on behalf of Comrade Salfa. I'm speaking as I was invited as a Red Army veteran to give my views on the 16th May and how important it is for us as the day that we launch our revolution that took us to independence. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you. Thank you so much, Comrade Agaring Machar. Bolmakur, I yield microphone back to you. You just came in recently and you got us already on the stage, exhausting some questions. Please take the microphone.
Thank you, Isaac. Tiang Paul, I appreciate you very much for welcoming me. And first of all, I am welcoming Red Army veteran, Mr. Agel Ring Machar, to Lake State Media, as you always do. Agel is a person who understands the matters of SPLA very well, previous SPLA and current situations in the country. And also is one of the .com generation who understand the meaning of media and what the role the media play. So we are happy to welcome him as he discussed the matters of the 16 May. All of us, we are the Red Army, but each and every one of us have to explain himself how we become the Red Army. I myself, Bolmakur, people know me always here, Lake State Media, but I have to explain myself so people also understand how I become Red Army. Most of the Red Army were not understanding why our fathers were in the bush until we were collected. Myself, in 1986, 85, 86, I hear guns and hounds and Hauser and Kalashnikov crying in the city of Yerul. And my uncle was riding a bike and he ran to Yerul and come back. And I asked him, what happening? He said, there's a huge war. He said, there's a huge war between Anyanya and the Arabs. So we did not understand. We thought the thugs who were in the bush are the one attacking the good one in the town, because kids did not understand that this is us who've been mistreated, and that's why our fathers who know how we were being silenced in old Sudan, they know the reason why they want to attack and chase this bourgeoisie. So in 1987, in Yerul, there was this program called Mobilize the Red Army. So we were mobilized, and Comrade Marial Chanwong came and mobilized good number of us and took us to Dima. So I walked 1,000 miles and I arrived to Pachala in 1987. I arrived to Pachala and we were divided. Some of us went to Panjido and some of us went to Dima. So I was one of the people who went to Dima. I know a girl was in Dima. So when I arrived in Dima, I was totally exhausted and my feet cracked. So we were taken to what they call Marcus. And then our mother, Comrade Adardi, was the one that initiated that program so we can be placed in a feeding for 3 months because we were done. If we were not placed in a feeding, we will not be able to do the Medan, the training. So we were placed in a feeding center for 3 months. And later, we were put to be trained. Myself, I was trained as a Intifada battalion. And as I was trained in Dima, training was very hard and I was sick. So I was taken, there was something called it was called chicken pox. But by then, we couldn't speak English, so we know it's a drug. So Burjunga, is it chicken pox, right?
Yes.
So I was totally sick, after I came back from training, and I was, my temperature gone high, and that's the stage that you can die as Jamin. So I was taken into the clinic.
I remember that very well. I have a star here in my forehead that came through Burjum. Go ahead.
Right. So I was taken in to the clinic, and my mother came with the dababir, and I was treated. And he told me in Tongmonjang, he said, Mugupo kinagi. I was totally dead because all my face and my body was totally swollen. I was treated for a week and I was released back to the battalion. So I continue. That's when I see a girl, because in the morning when my mother came, you came with him, but we were so many, you will not know who is this and who is that, because we were thousand and thousand. But some of us recognize, oh, because you came with Mama Derrit. And later, after 2 years, we finished training as Intifada Battalion, and we were grouped as Nyawanyu. Some of us were grouped as Matausat. Some of us were grouped as
Maragrek.
Or we find, I think again we find, yeah, I think again we find you already. You were in Ganyan, but sometimes
no, I'm in Gredel. I'm in Gredel before Ganyan.
Oh, you were in Gredel, yes. So we were me and Kunmatu. We were in Intifada. We were a battalion that.
Konmatu is Mutwasit. Konmatu is bigger than you.
Yeah.
Where did you go? Were you Dig or Maragrek?
I was Dig, but before we grew as Dig, we were trained together.
Okay, yeah.
So the war actually had a Karakiba well bitana Kunmatu, you know. So after we trained, 2 years later, John Grant came and we were graduated. Then that's when the name Dig came. So we were grouped into Dig, and some were taken to Maragrek, where you were actually.
Where I was, that's right.
Yes. So then later on, we stayed in Dima, and another war came. Actually, we don't have.
It's Dig. No, but it's just yeah. Dima is not a joke. In Dima, there's no joke in Dima. Either you are a soldier or you are in Hela.
Yes. So there wasn't no Katiba Jirkis. And as a Judge Alamir, we always like to sing. So for you to be a Judge Amir, Katiba Bitakum lazim yukun indak moral. So moral bitana kan bugulugal. Naldina sadigal madi soradab jeremalo Jejamir. Jejamir neranwala. SPLA wadini seka ya jama eli merijere sambala yes sadika bala li merijere kalai kulyom nar ndom wok bai kulyom nar jetare diktor garang yen wasam sading ma dije chinom bai sading ma dije bugyoruk bai kida piendawa ni den William bai kida piendawa wa muktari wa muksora chukon pol by when kubiya sara. That was our moral.
The main one.
So by when kubiya sara.
That's very good. And now that the fact that you are singing against Sora Dahab and Sadiq Al Mahdi, that should tell people which year that was. That was just after the revolution that took out Nimeri. You know, those of senior one like more and the rest were talking about Nimeri. For us, we were talking about Sora Dahab and Sadiq Al Mahdi. And then those after 91 we start singing about Bashir. So by your songs, you can be told which year you got trained.
Absolutely, that's right, Comrade Agar. And then you remember when Torid fall, then we came out and then we said Torid waga Jaydan Tarir, Juba waga Jaydan Tarir, Sudan Belena Jaydan Chap, Amerijon Jaikum Alela, Torid waga. So you can know Dekatiba Yatu. So after we were trained, it was a battle. We, Judge Al-Hamir, we were wanting to go to fight. None of us were not looking to hold back, even if I was a child. But since I was already trained, I want to go in. I don't want to stay in Dima. I want to go in to go fight. That was what was installed into our mind.
Yeah.
So
it was usually a big battle between us and Jalawiyai.
Yes.
Every other year. Every year we had a big fight with Wuyai.
Right.
Wuyai wanting to take the older ones and all of us wanting to go there. It used to take him 2-3 days just for him to get only about 700 or 1,000 from us.
Yes.
But because that is indoctrination. You know, when you are trained, that's what the meaning of training. If after the training you don't want to go to die, then you have not been trained properly. So the reason for them to have succeeded, it means that you must be a trained soldier that is willing to pick up arms and wage a revolutionary war to free your people. That's what training is about.
Yes. So in our training, I remember there was one night. Can't you watch a wheel kid? I forgot his name. He came in one of the night. They can matter limji but they can fanan. What mean barkazal? So he came in one night and he trained us one of the song, and then we were told nobody is leaving to go sleep unless everybody have to compose a song, non-Dinka song. So we were told nobody is going to sleep. SPLA the Mabita Dinka. We have to sing either in Murle, either in Taposa, either in Madi, or Arabic. So we were told to compose a song. It's not a play. Either, and then we were told Tikis would lazim tamul game shaitan. Say, okay. So
The things they did to us are not good. These trainers.
Yeah. So can't be what is Mariano, mini Equatoria. Nas Bugula Aselenini, Nas some of Equatorian want to take them out self that they are not part of SPLA. Today I want to challenge them. No, you guys have fought enough. PJ America Tirvita Equatorian. So we want to let you know. Yes. So
there's no community that did not go to war unless you are not there. But if you are there, all communities went to war. But the problem is you cannot expect in a battalion of 700 if Kuku, there's a small tribe, and a Dinka is a big tribe, the number will be the same.
Absolutely.
You understand? In a battalion of 700, if you have 10 Kuku and 300 Dinka, that is still per capita is enough. Because per capita that's the case. So no community did not fight unless you were not there. All South Sudanese were all upset, and they were motivated to fight.
Yes,
and we have seen that.
So this gentleman who came in the kind of Panan Kabir would mean kan min zalzal. Galena itokum ya intifada itokuma bamshi tanum mulazim tajibu moral bitat albilimu nas kulu. We moral de lazim yukun betapoza be murle or be dingdinka. So I told one of the guys next to me, I said, man, deliver us out.
Do something. Do something.
Do something. And then he said, man, ana bugulu shuno hasade. Ana gul ma alaga asma ma jiblena best moral chua best. Ashan nas gadi jeledu. Tikis nut kalam katir. Yala gam tawala gal sirilo kalibala. Baden anajaye. Balo malo sadike sirilo lakumande tamani tawene diktor jai ardan glosora sadi kuparlena huria lisa bongo kulisa komando anakul malakasma mahasede. Now go to the front. Yella went to the front. Yella galena ye one of us now have a moral be rutan. You know,
and all of you must learn it.
And all of us must learn it. Whether you don't know the meaning, you have to learn it. And we have this motto: you speak Dinka, then in the morning you will be given 10 sukun sword. No Dinka. Now I am communicating, isn't it?
You are communicating. You know.
Yes.
People are hearing.
So it is that spirit in Demo whereby we don't encourage Dinka. We encourage God.
Nationalism, patriotism, and nationalism.
Yes. Now, so that's how I become Judge Alamer Madaras Kativa Intifada. Then I become after that we were relieved to Nyawanyu, and then Rutba Bitai Pisora, I was a Chawich. Anakan Chawich Churta. Taban Nyawanyu can be Amul Rasgowi. Who can't be what
you guys made life difficult for us.
Yes. Can't be what
the military
can't be what isimu mading they can mean korium. Yet beto zorubu yedu. They can solve bitana jabu. nas kan yejelidu عشان يمشي شغل صباح ويمشي مدرسة وناس ما داروا وطبعا PSPLA لما تشوفين تاك راسجو أنا كان راسجوي أنا كان راسجو الأول so قالوا you know what bolde ya بيجيب ras yalde so كان في وادي اسمه God was the rakib awal bita shurna so they change him to ikuna chawid bita pasila tania uchilwana le pasila shurta so saba I wake up and I have to make sure all the Red Army, which are Nyawanyi, we have to go to Tamam and we have to lazim Sugule Madarsa, which is Ejeledu. So that's how we leave Dima. And later war came and we went to we came back, to Kenya, and that's how we make it to United States. But let me go back now to the 16 May. As we observe May 16 as a national holiday in South Sudan, which is celebrated with various events. Remember, girl, when I and you were in Dima, May 16 changed right now. It was celebrated with Muatonin, Jaife Kanisa, Wasakir have to assemble, and we have to do what they call Ujum Jama. You remember? Ulazim not Yazuru Betalaga Pachang. That's how we celebrate it. And then all the guns have to be at night. Guns have to sound. That's how we celebrate 16 May of SPLA with the various events and activities, including speeches by government officials, like the one you have done now, right? So we used to do that. And cultural performance, Banet Bargus, Waja Bugulu, Yani Kursu Bijibu, Banet Lazim Yergus, Wad Yagot fi Kursu Laman Wad Amul winning, you were the lower word. Those are the things that we were shown so we can know the meaning of freedom. So, were performs and sport, Kurataira, Kurataira, Kura Kan Balafu. Yes, that's how 16 May was celebrated when it did not lose its meaning, when it was very heavy in weight. So, sport events for a reflection of the progress made since 1983. And because the SPLA was progressing, fatal manatic, manatic del, low 16 major, then we reflect, we reflect how far we came. So those events were celebrated while we are fighting. This is the freedom we will need from the North that we don't have before. So Junubi need to understand the 16 May is very important for us because they are the Yom Alawel, Anina Bugulu, Ma Derin Stemar, Derin Shunu, Derin Freedom, Nomla. Yes. And also during the signing of the CPA, and regardless of the challenges that the young nation still face in terms of development, security, and reconciliation, we cannot forget to thank our fallen heroes and heroines, and I can say now, SPLA. So again, the reason why we have called you today to Lake State Media is because whenever 16 May comes, we, the South Sudanese, and we, the Jej Alhamir Al-Khan Bugulu, Mastakbal fi Yedenkum, we have to celebrate this. And we have to come forward and tell people they have the Yom Al-Khan, Nas, our fathers went to the bush for a self-determination. I want to tell something to Junubin. We don't need to always forget. We always forget very easily. Huh? And right now, when you go to Juba, we forget how we were being treated by North. And we welcome them because they have problem now. Welcome them. SPLA, welcome them. But what I am talking here, I step back to those days where Antinope was coming, but they can't Mamotanin anyway. Okay? But
Let's cut this short. I think there are people waiting for me. I'm sorry.
Okay,
If we
okay.
can,
Thank you,
we had
Comrade
agreed
Agal.
on half an hour earlier before that. Thank you.
Okay. So anyway, so this is the reason why we call you today, so we can make what? So we can make remarks, right?
Yep,
So we can make
absolutely.
remarks because we did not
Absolutely.
forget. Yes, so we can make remarks. So Junubin, so we are telling you that Comrade Agel is coming here with us to make remarks. The reason why 16 May is there. So I will make it short since you are leaving. We will, be live next time with other matters. But for a 16 May today, I will cut it here. SPLWE.
Let's spell away.
Thank you.
Comrade Isaac? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, Bol Makur, for your explanation of your journey to the army. This is awesome, man. It's so good. These are the challenges on the life that other people didn't. There are some experience that some of the children or the other people, adult, they didn't go through the life of the rest has gone through. And this is the day that we have to sit back and reflect the journey that we have walked. So thank you so much for sharing your story with all of us. And I would like also to thank Comrade Agel Ring Machar for sharing his story as well with us and the vision of the SPLM, where it got lost and how it is working steadily in the vision and answering some very tricky questions. Also, sometimes there are some questions that can come across and you put them in the right positions. So I would like to say thank you so much for giving us your time, Comrade Garing Machar, for Lagos State Media. In Clubhouse, if there is anyone who have a question because Comrade Girl he has another appointment that is going to see. Please, you just let me know such that we can just bring you in and you ask the question. Jamus, do you have a question? You can unmute your microphone and let us know.
I really don't have that much or any question to ask. There was a statement made earlier whether that the vision of Dr. John have died with him or not,
Uh,
and that was
Agel, do you hear him?
related to
Does anyone hear
Comrade.
him?
No, he's a little bit low, but let him raise his voice or get the microphone next to his mouth.
Okay. Jamus, can you raise your voice a little bit, please?
Okay, can you hear me now?
It's so
Yes, I
low.
can hear you.
Okay,
Go ahead, Damus.
go ahead.
He's
Go
even
ahead,
dead
Jamus.
now.
Shabaka
He's
Batal
dead.
Kalis, now is your network. You're coming cutting. It's distorting.
Let him move his phone from that direction. It might work better.
Hello, Jamus, can you hear me? Unmute yourself. You can hear you. Just go ahead.
Okay, if you can hear me. Yes, thank you again giving me this opportunity. I just wanted to weigh in regarding a statement that was made earlier whether the vision of Dr. John has died with him or not. Uh, I believe that our country has went through tough times to get us where we are today. And the vision of Dr. John, there is no doubt that it is alive as well. It is still powerful as it is, and it will continue to be the guidance as well. I believe that um, there is a saying or a quote that says that you can kill the dreamer, but you cannot kill the dream. I cannot remember exactly who made the quote or said the quote. You see, another example I can set here for that is anybody understood in a culture whereby if you, as a young man who's ready to be married to a woman, and your father come up to pay the dowries, and the only thing left to be initiated it's the wedding itself. And let's say if your father happens to pass away, and that is the woman that was left for you to marry, I believe that you will go ahead and initiate the marriage. But once the marriage is initiated, you will move with your wife to your new house. You do not come and live with your wife with her parent in the same home. That is, it never happens like that. And a lot of people thinking that the vision of Dr. John also was to integrate uh, South Sudan with Sudan also again to become one, which is false totally. That's not the vision. The vision is to separate. And Kir knew by the time Dr. John was assassinated, which I believe, he went forward to finalize the initiation of our independence. And he did the right thing. That is exactly what I would have done, what more comments that have spoken regarding our national holiday would have done as well. And so, yes, Dr. John's uh, vision did not die. And Comrade General Salva Mayadi have done the right thing. And for that, I am forever be grateful for all the contribution that they have done, including the contribution of Jaish Ahmad uh, in its whole. Uh, those are the people I would always wanted to put in mind and see them as successors of the vision.
Isaac, I believe
Yeah.
already Comrade Agal already understood what is he talking about. So
So
it's too long. So tell him to because Comrade Agal got somebody waiting him for him.
leaders to move forward uh, in their agenda. And so now today we're celebrating a great day. So thank you very much for this opportunity. And I just wanted to make that point regarding uh,
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, I think the point is picked up. The audio, it was so low, but it's okay. I believe a girl has picked up the point that you're trying to raise here. So just wait for the answer from Comrade Agal Ring Machar. Thank you so much, Jamus, and I appreciate that.
Oh, I was having difficulties hearing what is. Can you paraphrase what he was trying to say? I think he was just making a statement. It wasn't a question, was it?
It was a very long, passage that need to be kwanyi, yani be yom kwanyi waiting, kubija dong ya diong.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I didn't understand it very well.
He actually basically talking about the same thing Madid has you that people are.
Oh, about what happened to the vision of SPLM? No.
Yes,
That's fine.
yes,
It is clear. We agree with him in that sense.
Yes, it's just a
We agree with
vision
him
of
in that
us.
sense.
Yes.
We agree. Okay. Any more questions, or should I conclude and we
I think yes. No more question. I think you conclude, answer him, and that is it from Clubhouse. Nobody has raised up the hand. And I have my Bluetooth speaker. My son took it, and I haven't got it to play to make it loud a little bit. So you can answer this, and that's it. Thank you so much, Agar. Yeah.
No, and I said before, this idea that the vision has been lost, it has been postponed. It has been put aside while people are sorting out these issues of leadership splits within the movement. And that's not the first time the liberation movement or missions of SPLM has been put aside briefly until we manage to sort out these differences that we have. These are power struggles that sometimes takes tribal tones or regional tones, unfortunately, within the SPLM. And I believe that I've already said the only way we can fix this is for us to have true reconciliation between the people, not between the leaders. It is not about handshake between Comrade Salfa and Comrade Machar. No, it has to be a people-centered truth and reconciliation process with transitional justice mechanisms where people are held accountable, those who have committed atrocities, to avoid future impunity, and to allow the people to speak heart to heart, and to understand that we are one people and we are one boat. And the sooner we realize that, the better it will be for all of us to establish a viable state in this area of ours. On the issue of Sitashar Mayo, I know there are some people, veterans, who feel like the Sitashar Mayo doesn't get the same concentration it used to have when we're in the bush. There's a combination of two things. To be fair, number one is that during those times, it was the only celebration that was there. But right now, you have to realize now, in January 9, we have the CPA Day. Okay, then 16th of May, the SPLA Day. Then we have the 30th of July, which is Matthias Day, the day we lost to John Graham. And then 18th of August is the day the revolt started, and so forth. So now there is, just assume like somebody who's a young person who celebrates their birthday, but when they grow, they start achieving many others. So they will also celebrate the day they got their master's degree. They also celebrate the day they got married. They also celebrate the day they got twins, kids, for example. They celebrate the day they got appointed into high position within any institution. So as you grow old, the concentration that you put on your birthday reduces because you have other celebrations that you need to do. Secondly, the country was obviously undergoing some economic difficulties, let's put it this way, which were brought about by various factors that I don't want to get into right now. So they are not rocket science. They are just available for all of us to see. Combination of institutional weaknesses, lack of capacity, leadership, focus, all this kind of stuff. So these economic difficulties, and we have to celebrate 4 or 5 occasions. That's the second thing. So the government is stretched. The third one people don't want to talk about is that I think Comrade Salfa is tired of this celebration because there are people around the inner circle of Comrade Salfa that have taken this thing as a looting opportunity. So every time Comrade Salfa says, okay, let's go and celebrate 9th of July, they will bring a budget that when he's brought to Comrade Salfa and then he sees all the other needs, the salaries and the development, the healthcare, the education, he realizes that it's better we leave it. It doesn't become a priority because people are not even genuine with celebrating these days. They will give you some budget. If you sometime when I was somewhere, I saw some budgets for water. You would wonder, are we? You trying to feed 11 million people coming to John Garang Museum, or what? So some of these things, they are the ones that have made it difficult for the government to concentrate on it. But the people of South Sudan celebrate them, by the way. It doesn't matter whether they take us to John Garang Museum or not, or they give us chance Bugyumba's alone, okay, or not. We on our own ways, in our own houses, we have not forgotten these things. And these are very important days. The day we started our revolution, the day the CPA was signed, the day we lost our leader, founding chairman, that becomes the Matthias Day. These days we celebrate them, even though the government is having difficulty celebrating them. And for these issues, we have to fix up the issues I said earlier on, the issue of leadership in the country, so that we can fix our issues, be it our economic issues, our security sector, we reform it, whether it's our diplomatic policy, so that we can fix all these things. And this will allow now the country to have spare budget to be able to concentrate on this day. But these senior comrades, they take these days very seriously. I've heard of Comrade Salfa making a statement today about on 16th of May. So it's not like they just forget about it. They just don't want to be dragged through these exaggerated budgets for this Yom Tisa, Shar Wahid, then another one Yom Sitashar, then another one Yom Tisa, Shar Saba, then another one Yom Tamantashar Tamania, Yom Teletim, Saba. So they become like 5, 6. And if you look at the budget with the country that is struggling economically like South Sudan, it doesn't make sense. So we have to understand. But as long as it is in our hearts and we are celebrating the way we are in our own little way as the people of South Sudan, that's enough for those who have sacrificed for us to know that we remember them, and we stand with them, and we appreciate their sacrifices and for the freedom they have given us. So thank you guys very much. I'm not going to go into the because I'm going. I'm not going to go into the how I got to this because my life in Dima, as you may know, it was extremely dramatic and for many reasons, and some of them are in books. Some of the Red Army have written books about those things. We'll discuss them another day. But all I can say is that it was a difficult environment. It was a difficult experience, and we don't regret it because it is for the freedom of our people. If we are given another chance, we will repeat the same thing again. So I salute all the Red Army veterans across the country and around the world, wherever they may be, especially now that we are divided on politics and different issues. We find ourselves in different places. I want to say my thoughts are with you and uh, Shid Helkum. It is just a matter of time things will fall in place. I also want to salute the SPLA leadership, SPLM leadership, especially the political military high command, those who are alive, be it the permanent members or the alternate members who are alive, and all the battalion commanders and all the divisions from Division 1 to Koryom to Mormor to Kazuk and so forth. I salute you all, and this is your day, and your work has not been in vain. Even though we are struggling at this point in time, I'm confident in the resiliency of the people of South Sudan. We will pull through this. It's just a matter of time. If it is the issues of leadership, it will be sorted out. If it is issues of priorities, we will be able to prioritize things. If it is issues of unity, we will unite because we have united before and we have stayed before and fought under one umbrella until we feed ourselves. So I'm sure we will find a way. A leadership will come that will find a way to unite us under one umbrella so that we can tackle the next phase, which is the establishing institution that will make us a viable state and a nation that is set on the path of prosperity. Thank you guys very much for your time. And I had to move earlier on. We had agreed it was half an hour, but it is now I think actually 2 hours. But that's fine. That's fine. Anything for Setash Mayo.
Thank you.
SPLM, SPLA.
Thank you so much, Comrade Daring Mashar, for the time you have given us 1 hour and a half. It's really awesome to interact with us and the rest of your colleagues, Red Army and Jesh Laswat as well. That is brilliant. We have to say thank you, and we appreciate everybody who has weighed in their comments and who are watching also and celebrating in their different style that you can do it at your home, wherever you are. This is the very important day that we can reflect and look the journey that we have walked. So thank you so much. At this juncture, we will leave our guests to go for the other personal issues, and then we continue playing some music and play some videos for you in shortly to come. Thank you again.
Play Jammer songs. Play Jammer songs. Thank you very much.
Play Jammer songs.
I'll be following you on the social media.
All right. Thank you.
عمل عندنا خطه انه جيش حمر بعدين زمن بتوعه جاي ومن حيعمل هدف كويس. البلد هو ذاته يا ومن بتطلع البلد بعدين. اخر لحظه ده بكون عليكم بعدين. انتم جيش احمر مهم عشان يكون عندكم تعليم بكل بتاع كلام. كان احنا شلنا خرطوم بكره، نحن بقينا حكومه بتاع السودان الجديد، نحن هنعمل شنو؟ ناس منو ياو البلد، ناس منو ياو الا يمشي ابتدائيه، المدرسه الوسطى، يمشي ثانويه اولى، ويمشي لكادة الجامعه عشان يسرد من حاله، عشان يكون موظف، عشان يكون افندي. السودان الجديد نحن عاوزين نبلش الافندي ونبلش الموظف، وكل زول يشتغل. الناس لازم يشتغلوا. في السودان القديم ناس بيجري للخارج عشان يمشي يشيلوا ديون، قال هنا عاوزين ديون من الخارج. وعندنا حاجات في الأراضي بتاعنا، عندنا أراضي زراعية كثيرة، عندنا معدن كثير، لازم نشتغل. عندنا مويه كثير، ممكن نولد كهرباء من المويه ده. لكن وقت عملوها حكومة صغير في جوبا ده، أول حاجات اللي عملوه ده مباني للموظفين في حي اسمها حي وزرة هناك في جوبا. وناس تعبانين ما لاقيين مويه في جوبا، وفي بحر كبير قاعد بيجري في جوبا ذات، والناس برا هناك ما في زول ما بمدوا من البحر لا. لكن كان كودو تانكي كبير في جبل كجور او في اي محل عالي تاني في جوبا، كودو تانكي كبير هناك، كل الناس في جوبا هيكون في مويه كفايه. ما في زول تاني يمشي مع اثنين صفيه قال ماشي عاوز يبيعوا مويه في صفيه ده، زول ده يستخدموه في محل تاني. ففي السودان او شغل، وعشان الشغل ده يكون منظم، ناس يعرف يكون عندهم كفاءة في الشغل. عشان انت ما بيشيل انت ساكت، عشان انت عسكري ثوري قال تمشي تكون مهندس، ده ما بيشيل انت قال تمشي تكون دكتور عشان انت دكتور طبي، عشان انت زول عسكري مناضل ثوري. لازم تعلم الشغل ده، لازم تعلم الهندسه، وده ما بقع من السماء لراسك، ده لازم يعلموه جد، ما في طريق ثاني. فنحن عاوزين نعمل كل حاجات دي الاسد ده، مش بعدين عاوزين نمسك كلاشينكوف نكون اساكت، وبرضه نجهز نفوسنا للقياده بتاع السودان الجديده. الجديد وما يكون باش مهندس بمعنى بتاع باش كاتب ما يكون باش مهندس بمعنى بتاع باش كاتب يمشي يقعد في ترابيزه ويكتب طول اليوم وما في زول في كباري ما في زول بيعمل في طرق في السودان القديم المكونغو بتاع طرق رئيس مال بتاع طرق عنده كفاءة أكثر من المهندس أكثر من الباش مهندس عشان باش مهندس بقعد في المكتب طوالي. نحن عاوزين مهندسين بتاع السودان الجديد اللي بقعد في الميدان. السكة قافوتين ده نحن يعملوا. نحن ما مشينا مدرسة بتاع هندسة. بس انت بشوف وضع كده او بمشي كده ومويه كان نزل بعدين بمشي كيف وتقول السكه بتاعنا يمشي كده. ده ياو كلام عملنا هنا ونحن ماشيين هسه نسال السكه ده قدام هناك، لكن عاوزين مهندسين اللي عندهم خبره عشان السودان الجديد الحركه يجهز مهندسين بتاع السودان الجديد. اذا في مهندسين بتاع السودان القديم ممكن نحن بس، لكن نحن بقود فيكم، نحن بقود العمل فيكم انت العمل عشان تعلم الحاجات دي.
طبعا our very old videos I scratch in them.
Yes.
Yeah, for the Red Army, and that's so
Yeah.
good.
I remember them. Koikui, those guys are actually not Gredal, they are Zalzal. Those guys, I know them. I Zalzal. That field actually is our field. Those houses you see, they are houses for our teachers. I know them. Yeah, they are houses for our teachers. So I know the place. That's Demo. That was in Demo. Dekan Medanoria. Yes. So that's Dima.
E F G.
That's Planido. That's Planido.
G H I J K L L L M M M N N N N O O O O P P P P P Q Q Q Q R R R R S S S S U U U V V V V W W W X X X X Y Z Z Z Z أنا جاب بعدين أنا جاب أسادسة بتاعكم عشان الناس اللي بيعلم انتم مني ده ياو أبو بتاعكم ياو ممثل ياو SPLA فلازم تسمع كلام بتاع مدرس الزول اللي بيعلم انت ده ياو أبو بتاعك وديه وعي بديه تعليم لازم تحترمه لازم تحترمه
34 سنة لا جبال ولا جنوب الزول يحكم الوطن 34 سنة 34 سنة ولا جبال ولا جنوب الزول يحكم الوطن 34 سنة 34 سنة يا قرن 34 سنة يا قرن 34 سنة يا قرن 34 سنة احنا جينا دايرين سلاحنا عشان نحرر الوطن 34 سنة 34 سنة ولا حرية ولم نقدر نفوزنا 34 سنة 34 سنة ولا حرية ولم نقدر نفوزنا 34 سنة 34 سنة يقولوا لنا
Isaac.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. Happy 16 May or May 16, wherever you are tuning in. Now we are coming to an end of our show. I will yield microphone back to you, Bolmakur, to put in your last remarks and we close the show. Thank you. Go in.
Uh, Thank you, Isaac. My last remark will be about John Garang de Mabur Atem. As you have seen him, he was speaking to Jaj Alhamer, and most of our friends and our countries which are bordering us, and our friends of the United States and other friends around the world don't really know who is John Garang, and we are watched by many people who don't know actually who is John Garang and what was the vision of the SPLA, what was the vision of John Garang. You have seen John Garang in the video. He is training Jeja Lamer, A, B, C, D, and you have seen him in the video. He's talking about what will happen in the future. John Garang was a prominent Sudanese politician and a revolutionary leader who played a key role in South Sudan civil war and formation of South Sudan as the founder of the SPLA, SPLM. Garang was a strong advocate for the rights of the people of South Sudan, as we have seen and as we have heard, and we felt it through our independence. Garang vision for the people of South Sudan was rooted in the concept of New Sudan, and that's what he was talking about, the concept of New Sudan. Uh, he knew there will be South Sudan, but the reason why John Garang talked about the concept of South Sudan is that so we can join our hands and fight war together with our friends. If we could have said a vision of South Sudan, we could have not been helped. We could have not have Nubian. We could have not have people from Angasna. We could have, everybody would have said, it is the vision of South Sudan only, and people would have not recognized us because they will think we already cut out South Sudan. So that's why John Garang was having the vision of all Sudan, which aimed to transform Sudan into what? Into democratic and secular state that would provide equal opportunities and rights for all its citizens, regardless of their ethnic or religion. Garang believed that this vision would only be achieved through what? Through peaceful resolution of the long-standing conflict between the South and the North. So, peaceful resolution that he was talking about, I just want to analyze that he was talking about is that we will negotiate with Arab while we are fighting through. We will negotiate with Arab while we are fighting through. Because remember, South Sudanese need to remember there were so many agreements that were signed as a resolution within, but we did not get freedom, and that's what he was talking about. We will fighting while we are talking. We will fighting while we are talking. This end, Garang fought for a greater autonomy, self-determination for the people of South Sudan, and advocate for the establishment of federal system of government that would ensure a fair distribution of resources. And you remember, he talked about it in his video, right? A fair distribution of resources. That's why he said that in Juba, there is no water. But if you put one tank in Jebel Kunjur, it will what? It will distribute water to Juba. So that vision he was having it already. Fair distribution of resources and power across regions of Sudan. He also championed the right of marginalized groups, including women, youth, and minorities, sought to build a society that was inclusive and tolerant of diversity. The diversity which is today in South Sudan, Garang already talked about it. And also, our President Salva Kiir Mayardit also have that vision. Remember, when there is any election, when there is any positions, he always asks, where is women? Where is women? He never missed that that statement. It was a vision already which they have in the bush. You remember, John Garang also was not by himself. He was not by himself. He was with Comrade Salpa. He was with other high commands, those of Paul Manyang, those of Awenakut, those of Waniga. They were surrounded in people with the vision of Sudan. But he knew we will later on drawn out South Sudan in the map. He knew. But he was training us about all Sudan so war can be a unified war. I just want to analyze this because it's a very important point to Junubin. Garang vision was untimely released in 2011 when South Sudan gained independence from Sudan following a referendum that was held as part of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement that he helped negotiate. However, is that untimely death in helicopter crash in 2005 left avoided South Sudanese politicians and delayed the implementation of many of the information that he had envisioned for the country. You see, so most part of South Sudan agreement, after we fight tirelessly and we come to our limit. Remember, there is a saying, we said that in Dinka, to Yijin ba lom weng, yugin weng chi nok, yina wijirin, kulela an ngot ki ade tin yina nyang, lekin lweli ne gal wak gal tem ki agam dide. Kalwel gal mudo ran ngu kriye ban wuj bi kriye ban nyai. From there in bija we negotiate rabi jala ngot team tin ko. That's what Garang was doing. So I need my colleagues, Red Army, and other kids that are following us. Our kids need to understand that, yes, it was his vision, and that's why he drafted, that's why he crafted CPA. And then later on, we have South Sudan. So I really appreciate our audience, and we will come to an end, but I was just elaborating the vision of John Garang. What was his vision? Because you have seen him talking in the video. He was talking about how things will take place when we cut out South Sudan, how we will do things. And he was talking about engineer. He was talking about how much an engineer can make somebody in the field and somebody in the office, you know. So I hope all of you watch it. And today is a very important day that we have to keep up celebrating it and talk about it so our children also can take from there. Remember, South Sudanese need to remember, if John Garang, if Salva Kiir Mayardit, if Awenakut, if Kwon Manyang, if Waniga, and other high commands, and other leaders of SPLA, if they were not talking to us, we could have not been here today talking about the SPLA. We would have lost it. But because they were insisting, talking to us, that's how we take over today. That's how we take over today. So, Junubin, I want to encourage you, in your house, keep talking about the vision of the SPLA. How did we come to where we are today? Tell your kids. It's very important, educate your kids. Remember, we were just South Sudan were just villages all over. There were only courts. And those courts, those cities, there were just courts everywhere. Those small places that police stations like Madiangbor, like Yerul, like Rumbek, like Akut, they were just courts. South Sudan was not developed. It was just bushes. And when our fathers decided to join, to come together and form the movement and went to the bush and fight and mobilize us, the young one, and train us. And they said, when we are not there, you will be the one to talk about the problem of the Sudan. And yes, we are the one talking today about the problem of the Sudan. That's why I am here talking about the problem of the Sudan. That's why my colleague Isaac Tieng talking about the problem of the Sudan. And that's why we invited Comrade Agel, to talk about the problem of the Sudan. It is something that our fathers have taught us. So today, my message to you is teach your children about the problem of the South Sudan. How did we come here? How did we come here? What happened? Let them know. Comrade Isaac Tieng, I hope we will close the show, and we are here to let our people know we are the one, our fathers informed, so we can talk about the problem of the Sudan. So let's educate our children, and also let's take the message out.
I am staying awake up to now. It's 6 a.m. in the morning. I haven't slept for the whole night up to now. I came from work.
Well, I'm giving it to you. Yeah. So I'm giving it to you. So thank you. I will leave from here and SPLA.
SPLA, thank you so much, Bolmakur, and our viewers. I'm already awake. It's 6 a.m. in the morning here in Australia, where I am. And been at work night shift, and I came and start the show straight away. Haven't slept for good, but this is good thing also to stay awake, because this is very important day for all of us. We are happy to celebrate this journey that our fathers, our brothers, and ourselves that we have walked through up to this juncture where we are in today. So thank you so much. Have a good time. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever our viewers are tuning in.
United, or whether the potential.
Appreciate everybody down there. We will catch up again with the more shows coming up in the near future. Please like Lake State Media and follow us in Facebook, YouTube, and we are available from there. Thank you so much. God bless all of you. God bless South Sudan. SPLA. Thank you.
Bino
Toyina Pierre wala rumbe, Painting William. Toyina Will wala Pibor, Painting William. Toyin Juba wala Tori, Ayam Yo, Painting William. Toyin Benti wala Kwaju, Kaya wow, Painting William. Toyin Malkal wala Pinyaram, Painting William.